Hi everybody, Beth with Live Good, Live Well. I'm going to do a real quick video before I head out to grab some lunch on decisions and choosing. So we go through, I think it's like 95 or 97% of our days, of our time on autopilot without consciously making a decision. And that's something that I started questioning a few years ago. After some health things, I really started doing that. So instead of going to get standard fast food, name your favorite fast food place. I've got this little devil horn over here. I started doing a lot of research into what I was eating, what I was consuming, and that's led me into doing that in all of my life, really. And I do a ton of research and reading and trying to apply those things. I don't watch a lot of TV, so I have a lot of extra time that I would otherwise spend doing that. And I get a lot of information on Facebook. I follow a lot of pages and businesses and coaches and gurus and spiritual leaders and blogs, things like that. I don't follow a lot of just drama, I would call it, or news as it relates to things such as sports and current events. I take that as a glance, but that's where I spend about 1% of my time. 99% of my other time and feed is all health, spirituality, mindfulness, travel, self-improvement, that sort of stuff. So anyway, deciding to choose or deciding to decide and choosing to choose are things that I put a lot of focus on, but not a lot of energy. So I think about, I'm drinking coffee right now out of this mug, and I'm drinking it out of this mug because I felt that blue was a good color for the day. I don't know why, I just went with it. And so let's take things into more basic things. So food. So a few years ago, I started having Chipotle or this local restaurant called Alibaba for lunch. Every day I go to the office. It's very rare that I change from those. Occasionally I do, but again, it's very rare that I do. I either go to Chipotle or I go to Alibaba and get the same things at those places. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to question, is this good for me or not? Is it going to be good today? Because both of those places are very consistent. They're healthy, they're nutritious, they're fresh. The people are friendly. They're both good businesses. One is family owned, the other is Chipotle. So I did all of this decision making up front, and I stopped going out to, say, have a pizza or chicken, fried chicken, or sandwiches with a lot of bread and gluten and sugar and things like that, or all of those things. I just cut it down to these two options because I love them, and like the law of diminishing returns doesn't apply there to me. I'm about to go to Chipotle in a few minutes, and I'm excited, and I bet I've eaten there 1,000 times over the last few years. That's not an exaggeration, that's pretty true. And with that, I don't have to think about what do I want to eat. That is my least favorite conversation that happens on a recurring basis, is what do you want for dinner, or what do you want for this meal, or what do you want for like, I already know what I want. Like, if we were to introduce something new, that would be fine, but I don't want to think about it. I know what I love, and it's a diverse meal. It has, it has protein, it has it has a ton of spices. It's all organic, it's fresh, it's freshly made, it's clean. Like, I don't have to, there's no concerns about it there. It's not high calorie like the lasagna that I had yesterday for lunch was, which was good, and a deviation because we were out. But anyway, I decided to decide that a long time ago, and I don't have to decide that ever again. It's similar to President Obama would wear a gray or blue suit every day. That way he didn't have to decide, he didn't have to put any thought into what he was going to wear. Minimalist or capsule wardrobes go into this as well. Like, everything goes together, and you only have a few options, and you can wear what looks good, or you can wear anything you grab, and it all fits, and you just don't have to think about it, right? And So on the flip side of that, once we put those things into place to kind of build those habits, drinking water. I never really think about what I want to drink because I always almost want water. After I've had my coffee in the morning, which I'm finishing up now, I pretty much drink water after that. I like it. I have a nice charcoal filter system here. System is a big term for what it is. It's a 2-gallon, I believe, glass jar with a spigot, and I have charcoal 6 in there. Tap water goes in, charcoal filtered water comes out. Easy peasy. I never have to think, what am I going to drink? I get water, and it's delicious and it's amazing for us. Other things, we went to get a frame for an oil painting that I got yesterday of Zephyr and me, and that was a different project, and there's a blog out there on it on Medium if you follow me on Medium. And we spent about 15 minutes picking out different frame options to decide and looking at the options and the costs and all that sort of stuff. That was the most decisions making energy I've put into anything in a long time. When I met Tosca, I knew straight away that there was no decision there. Like, there was no choice. It just was. Like, we were who we had been looking for, and I didn't have to think, is this the person for me or not? I already knew that it was because I'd done all of this legwork before. But going back to day-to-day decisions and choices, we can choose our attitude about things. You know, I sit in traffic a lot on days I go to the office. Thankfully, I can work from home some days a week. But days I go to the office, I know it's going to take me an hour to get to the office and an hour and a half to get back from it. I could choose to be frustrated by that and to be grouchy about it every day, but what good would that serve? And would that get me any closer to any of my goals? Certainly not. My goal is to be happy and to feel free, so I use that time in the car to listen to music and to sing. Helps with the throat chakra. Or to listen to podcasts. I've listened to some audiobooks, but I'm more of a podcast or a music person. To make phone calls. I talk to my mom every day on my drive home. I listen to, I'm doing a class right now to get my real estate license, so I'm listening to 180 hours of audio content there. And so I just use that time in the car as, like, you know, to the best of my ability. I rarely feel frustrated in traffic. Even if I'm late to something, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm gonna be late if that's the case, and, you know, I just make the most of it. Like, I try to get to places on time all the time, but there's also, like, some other factors that go into it. You know, if a wreck happens that we don't know about ahead of us, then we're gonna be stuck there. So in those moments, it's a pretty ingrained habit now, but a long time ago I learned to use that time wisely and intentionally. I have stuff kind of backed up on my phone. You know, I have podcasts and I have things like in the queue to listen to, or to think about, or, you know, phone calls to make, or things like that. So that's kind of a common thing that we use. I talk about all the time, I wish we had better public transportation here, because I would take that to work, because it would be focused time to read or to write or to, again, listen to stuff and not have the responsibility of driving. And so, you know, that's also a very meditative time for a lot of people. So showering, brushing your teeth, doing dishes, doing laundry, driving, things that we do on a repetitive basis that we don't have to put a lot of thought into, is great time for meditation, just like sleeping. If you're stressed out about something, or you're needing an answer on something, meditate on it. Either like sit and meditate, or do something like that. I love doing dishes because that's 10 or 15 minutes that I can, you know, I don't have to actively think about something. I can just kind of let my mind relax and just be into the repetitive motion of it. Walking is great for that. Swimming, biking, you know, anything that doesn't require our brain to be like super on. You know, we need to be aware of our surroundings and our physical safety, but our brain takes care of most of that for us on a subconscious level. So other things that we can decide during the day to do better. So I covered eating. I would challenge everyone to eat better this year, whether that's making a salad in a jar. You can do the thing where you put the salad dressing on top and then layer the stuff so it doesn't get soggy, and then turn it over about half an hour before you have lunch. and it mixes all in, and you can shake it up and whatever. You can also take sandwiches to work. I don't recommend anything that requires microwaving. That kind of defeats the whole purpose of eating, because it nukes all of the nutritional value out of food. And we literally use our microwave for storage. Like if we have something left over that we need to keep out of the reach of Sully, he can't open the microwave, so we put it in there. I haven't used a microwave in years for its actual designed purpose. Some other things that you can choose to do. Choose to keep your home clean. Choose to keep your car clean. Like every time I get gas, I make sure that all of the trash is out of my vehicles. Like napkins and cups and receipts and just stuff that builds up in there. Other things, like if you want to do something, if you have some goals that you've had for years. So say your goal is you want to go back to school. You want to either complete a degree or get a new degree or a new certification, or you want to change career, anything along those lines. But you haven't started. Choose to decide today. Either fill out the application or make your plan, list out the steps. What do I need to do? Do I need reference letters? Do I need an application fee I need to set money aside for? Do I need to spruce up my resume? Do I need to get any historical documentation from, say you got your bachelor's years ago and you're working on your master, or you want to go back for your master's? What documentation do you need to do? Start by doing the research and make a list and start checking things off. Send in the application, send in your old transcripts, get reference letters, get your resume brushed up to speed, work on any goals that you have for your master's if they want to know. I don't know what that entails, because I've never done it before. I'm just kind of pulling things out of people that I know that have done this. If you want to sell and buy a new home, what do you need to do to get your home ready to list on the market? Clean it up, make any repairs that are necessary. You might want to paint it. Might want to paint the inside and the outside. You might want to make a few small, update the faucets. That makes a huge impact on the way that bathrooms and kitchens and things look. You might want to have it professionally cleaned. That's a couple $100. Depending on the size of your house, it could be more. There's all of these things that they're big activities, or they're big events, or they're big goals, but you can break them down into very achievable steps. If you need to find a realtor, if you don't know a realtor, do your research, find a good realtor, find somebody that you like and you trust and that feels good, and go with them. And then, on the other side of that, on buying, look at what you can afford and go just under that. You don't want to be like what the term is called house poor. So decide to give yourself maybe a nicer house, but decide the radius. So these are all things that you have to choose to decide to do. Or you could just stay in your house if that just seems like too much to do. What we wear. So when we go shopping, I like to buy things that make me feel something. I got this pair of shoes yesterday. It's a pair of just athletic shoes. I'm not athletic, but they were really cool. They're Nikes. They're white with black and bright green and bright blue, and they're just kind of crazy looking. And they were on clearance, and they made me feel something, and they were my size, and so I bought them. And I don't do that nearly as often as I used to. I used to shop just for things that I like the look of and that fit. Now, they've got to meet those two criterias and also, make me feel something. So, when you go shopping for new clothes or new shoes or new whatever, make sure that, have a predefined list of questions that you can go through for decisions on purchases on my blog at livegoodlivewell.com. And it goes through things like, can I rent it instead of buying it if it's a one-time use thing? Can I buy it used? Can I borrow it? Can I make it myself? Does this purchase have a good impact on myself, on my life, and on the lives of someone else? Just a lot of questions like that. What's the cost per use? Am I going to buy this shirt to wear one time? I've had this shirt for years now, and I've worn it probably hundreds of times. And I remember I got it on clearance at Abercrombie, and I loved it because it was just really cool. I don't know what it means, Warriors, something or other. And anyway, it's one of my favorite shirts. It's soft, it's it's nice color, etc. And I could probably go through my closet and tell you a lot of those things, like what does the shirt make me feel and why did I buy it? Why do I like to wear it still? So try to think of things like that are directly impactful to us all, right? So I notice things about people, like hygiene is a big deal for me. I like to be clean. I don't know like why I notice or care about it with other people, but I see somebody with like disgustingly long fingernails. They're often dirty underneath, and I just think like, is that poop or dirt or food? Like whatever it is, that's disgusting. And like wash your hands, trim your fingernails. Like you can get some nice like decent nail clippers for like $3 or $4 at Target and a nice nail file. Like there's no reason for anybody to have disgusting nails, like ever. Like even if you're a mechanic. My stepdad's a mechanic. My dad has always had like a hard, like, outdoorsy, like blue collar job. Both of them have like clean hands. Not like an office worker, they're not like delicate and, soft, but like their hands are never like, oh my God, like, and then I think like, who are you like hugging and like touching the face of with those hands? That is gross. And then like hair, like body hair, come on, get a razor, like pluck that stuff out. So decide to make your life better and decide to, like, I've got this right here, and I'm like, should I go see Joel and get it taken care of? And it's because I don't have gel in my hair today, or pomade or anything, but also, like, if I start to see my hair start to get a little bit unruly, I get a haircut. And I've usually pre-decided that. I've usually pre-made an appointment when I got my hair cut last. So I don't have to think about, usually, do I need a haircut or not? It's just like, it's already done for me. So it goes into, like, automation and automating decisions and automating choices for you, but also we want to take out the ones that are doing us no good at all. So start to think about like things that you do daily that are just habits and habitual and routines, but you don't know why. So if you keep traditions, or you are into a bad habit of eating Oreos every night, is that getting you closer to your goals? What are your goals if you're eating Oreos every night? Is it just for, just out of habit and you don't enjoy them? Or is it for like a genuine satisfaction that makes you the happiest person alive? If it does, then kudos to you. That's awesome. But make sure that you're being very healthy in other ways, because Oreos are not good for us. I wish that they were. If you're into a habit of not exercising, how do you get into the habit of exercising? So that might be a choice for 30, 60, 90 days to build the habit of doing something every day. Right now, I'm still working on the habit of just moving my body every day. I can tell a little bit of a difference in my guns here, but not a tremendous amount yet. This month is core month, so instead of focusing every day on something, last month for January I was focusing on shoulders and arms. This month I'm focusing on core, so I've got quite a bit to go there. Relationships. If you're in an unhappy relationship, that's a decision to stay, but there also has to be a decision to change it, or to go, or to leave, or to divorce, whatever you want to call it. So whatever you're unhappy with or you're complacent with, why do you feel that way and what can you do about it? Is it something that you need to accept, or is it something that you can change? If it's something that you can change, get to it. If it's something that you cannot change, that you have no control over, such as other people's behaviors, how other people live their lives, just accept it. Yeah, that goes into like, not to be political, because I don't care about politics that much, but also like I care about how things impact us. And I just think I'm never going to make a decision that would negatively impact somebody else's life, purposefully so. If I do something through the butterfly effect, which I hope I don't, that would negatively impact somebody, that's on me, that's on my conscience and then my karma. But I would never actively go out and try to restrict somebody's way of life or take rights away from them by voting, against somebody or against something. If people want to live their lives and do whatever they want, as long as it's not harming anybody, I don't see the point in us trying to trying to put restrictions on people. Like, we're here to be happy and to be free and to love and to be healthy, and you know, healthy is a lifestyle, yeah. And we all choose to live as we do, but I think also like education and learning about stuff helps us make better decisions and to be healthier and happier and to be more free and to love and things like that. So anyway, this quick video turned into another 20-minute video. So anyway, love to live and live to love, all those things, but also decide to decide and decide to live your life the way that you want to live your life, not the way that you've been told to live your life, yeah? So this is Beth with Live Good, Live Well, and I'm gonna go get some Chipotle now. Cheerio.